Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is The Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 5, Episode 10, and the name of this episode is Forget the Bubble. I will go to say that this was actually a very good episode, and I think next week will be the mid-season finale, so it's definitely getting juicy. Now, the episode opens up, Hannah has decided to turn Candace into the police. And who do they end up sending, and who other do they choose to send to talk to her other than Justin? Before Justin talks to her, though, Justin is actually talking to the rookie who actually shot at Jeffrey, and they're going back and forth, and the rookie's pretty much saying, I apologize, if I would have known he was your friend, I wouldn't have done anything. He's like, he's not my friend. We were just playing around. He's like, well, the fact you said you guys were playing around, I was thinking you guys knew each other. He's like, no, it's not like that. You know what? Just do your job, okay? And I'm like, you know what, Justin? First of all, you're making the shit sound more sketchy because it's not adding up, Justin. So just shut up. But then he's like, oh, we're playing around, but no, we don't know each other. He's not my friend. Like, boo, how you gonna backpedal like that when you obviously told him y'all were playing around? Who else do you play around with other than your friends or people you know? Who the hell plays around with strangers? Anyway, so after that situation, he went to go talk to Hannah. Him and Hannah go back and forth, and Hannah pretty much says that she wants the police to take Candace, but that she doesn't want the police to do it in an aggressive way, where they would do it in front of little Quincy, or they will harm her in any way. She just wants Candace to get taken by the police, so it will at least protect her from war. Granted, this is a really stupid idea, but then again, I understand why Hannah's doing it. I'm not agreeing with Hannah by any means, but I understand it. Well, we see on Justin's end, he's trying to work it where, at first he's kind of in agreement with her. He's saying, okay, fine, we don't have a warrant, but what we'll do is that we'll call you, and once she's there, we'll come and set everything up. But meantime, we'll have surveillance around there too. So once she does show up, we'll just set her up and we'll arrest her outside. We won't actually go in and disturb the little boy. But then Justin takes it upon himself to say that, well, what do you know about her and Quincy Maxwell? Because after she gives him all the information, she does let Justin know that she's Candace's mother. And then when he had asked about Quincy Maxwell, and she said that, look, won't you look that guy up? That guy got a rap sheet a mile long. Like, that guy's dangerous. He was violent towards her, violence towards their son. If anything happened, I would definitely say it was self-defense because that man was dangerous. So he's like, oh, so you're saying it was self-defense? So you're saying that she did this in self-defense? She's like, look, I'm not saying she did anything. I'm just saying if something were to happen, it was definitely self-defense because that man was dangerous and he was evil. So I'm like, here you go, Justin, being a messy-ass bottom, trying to put everything on Candace so you can keep Jeffrey all to yourself. I see what you're doing, bitch. You ain't slick. But what ends up happening is that he pretty much gives Hannah his card and lets him know to give him a call once she's there, and they'll set everything up. But yeah, we see on Justin's end, he's trying to put everything on Candace so that Justin is off the hook. And later on, after Hannah leaves, we see that Justin actually tries to call Jeffrey, but then he actually texts Jeffrey all the information about him talking with Hannah. But we can definitely see after Hannah leaves the station, she's definitely traumatized because she can't believe what she just did. And neither can we, Hannah. I mean, come on. Like, there had to be another way of doing this, but I understand why she's doing it. But then again, you're practically giving your daughter away to the authorities. So what makes you think that's going to work for her either? Because either way, she's fucked. Just saying. But yeah, but also let you know if I miss anything, put it down in the comments. Next, we actually have Charles and Candace. They pretty much are getting turned up at his mini bar, and they're going back and forth, and he's pretty much saying that, you know, I'm trying to escape this bubble. I really don't want to be president. You know, pretty much saying that, you know, and pretty much Candace is like, look, you don't really get no sympathy from me. I mean, you're about to be the leader of the free world. And he's like, yeah, but think about all the pressure that comes with that. Think of the fact that you no longer have a life. Think of it that you no longer have any privacy. You know, your life belongs, you know, to the White House, to politics, to the whole entire system. You know, I no longer will have any control. And he's like, yeah, I love politics, but this is a totally different ball game now that I'm now walking into, and I don't know if I really want all of it. But so pretty much she got him to open up about what he's feeling and everything, and next thing you know, things start to get even a little more heated between them. And she's pretty much, you know, throwing it on him. And she's like letting him know, like, look, you know, thinking about it, we're both here. You know, let's see where this goes. And Charles is like, you know, very hesitant because he says that, look, the last woman that I was with was my wife. My wife's dead, and he also mentions that he has 2 children, 7 and 11. Go figure, right? But he also lets her know that he's not trying to do anything more because he's saying he has a reputation to protect, and you know, a lot of people will get hurt if something were to happen between them. But Candace pretty much lets him know that, look, whatever happens between this room will stay in this room. You know, I won't put you out there like that. And at first he's very hesitant, but then, you know, Candace got that swag, and Candace has that charm, and he can't resist her. And it's like the more and more he's saying no, the more and more his body's saying yes. And she's pretty much saying that, look, forget the bubble. You know, let's step out of the bubble for a minute and let's do something that you normally won't do if you were in the bubble. So she starts playing on to that. The next thing you know, they are freaking. Like, seriously freaking. At first she's aggressive, you know, got him on the bottom. Then he flips her over, and then he gets aggressive. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Candace definitely let that spark up in him. But little does he knows, he's actually being recorded while they're having that session. So after the fact, they're pretty much having like afterglow because they had some really good sex. And they're pretty much talking, and he's saying that, look, you know, I can't allow this to leave this room because, look, me and my wife were conservative. You know, me and my wife were conservatives. You know, we pretty much have this very, pretty much perfect image, and someone like this can never be discussed beyond this point. So Candace, you have to pretty much let me know you're not going to say anything. And at first, you know, Candace is just like, you know, gotten to the point where it's like he just literally made her feel like a hoe yet again. But come on, Candace, you practically fucked him on the first night of meeting him. I mean, what does that say? But Candace has definitely got an aim. But he's saying that, but no one can know about this. No one can know. And then she pulls up her phone and she's like, but I do. So it's like she got proof that they did something, so now she's going to use that to manipulate him herself. So now the ball's in her court. The question is, will it stay there? But yeah, that was an interesting scene right there. Next, we go to the house with Jeffrey, Veronica and Melissa. We see that Justin tries to call Jeffrey. Jeffrey ignores the call, and we also see that he also touches him. And Veronica is pretty much looking as like, what the hell you doing out here? I know you ain't been out here the whole time. Get your ass back in that room, And then next he goes in the room, and then Melissa comes out, and he still is giving Melissa the blues. Like, he's pretty much telling her, "Don't touch me, get away from me." And when Melissa actually lets him know that, look, I actually saw you talking to the guy outside. Are you guys together? Are you with him? Do you like him? I can tell you do. I mean, I can see the way you look at him that you're really into him. And then the next thing you know, this fool's like, oh yeah, you want to talk about this? We're really gonna do this, really, Melissa? Okay, let's have fun. I like the way I like the feel of his hands. I like the way he smells. I like when I touch his chest and I rub his body. He has an ass made out of steel, and I just love it when I do this and do that. And he's just literally throwing out. She's like, look, spare me the details. It's like, oh no, you want to have this little girlfriend powwow? Let's actually have it out. Oh yes, and I just love the way he breathes when he's next to me, and I love the way he touches me, the way he gets me hard and excited. I mean, he just started saying some real shit, and the next thing you know, Veronica shows up, and she's like, oh no, honey, no, continue. Talk about how you like what he does to you. Yeah, let us all know. Like, yeah, honey. Yeah, hunty. Yes, baby, you better slay. You better work. You better slay. Like, Veronica, if you don't take your ass to your room and go to bed, because Veronica's been drinking. So she's immediately just antagonizing him. And she's like, no, won't you say everything that's going on? Yeah, you were so free to talk about it with Melissa. Why not talk about it now? Like, continue to say what you were going to say. And then Melissa's like, look, you don't have to say anything else. And she's like, Melissa, bitch, I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to him. Now, so what were you saying? Yeah, speak your mind. Say what you got to say. And then pretty much she's like, then it gets to the point she's like, so you still gonna do this? You still gonna go out your way to try to upset me? And they pretty much go back and forth, and it gets to the point where Melissa suggests that, look, maybe he should go be with him if that's where he really wants to be. And she's like, sweetie, are you thinking? Who told you to think? No one gave you permission to think. Look, you are there to be pretty and dumb, and that's it. You are not to use your brain. So shut up and just play your role. And then it's like her and Jeffrey go back and forth even more, and Jeffrey finally gets it. That it's like, yeah, your mother got you all from like killing Quincy, but yet you're now back into her prison where she's going to control your life and make you marry Melissa, and Melissa's still supposedly pregnant, but something's telling me that she's not. I don't get it that she is, but she's using that as a card to keep her in the game, and also due to the fact that both of them are pretty much under her control. Because if you really think about it, it's like, Melissa's Barbie and Jeffrey's Ken, and Veronica's like the little girl that's playing with Barbie and Ken and trying to make up their lives. It's sick and it's crazy, because it gets to the point where he pretty much says that, look, you literally took me out of one situation where I could have gone to jail, and you put me in jail here. But she's like, yeah, but at least you got some perks here. You got a nice home. You got a beautiful wife. You about to have a woman who's about to become your wife, and she's about to have your child. I mean, why would you say this is prison? I'm not trying to control you, Jeffrey. I'm trying to make your life better. And I'm like, and he's told her, like, won't you take your ass in the room and sleep that shit off? And eventually she leaves, and then Melissa and Jeffrey have a conversation. Jeffrey's still being mean to that damn girl. I'm like, Jeffrey, at the end of the day, yes, fucked up for what she did, but she's just as much of a victim as you. You know, she pretty much is using, and we come to find out that Melissa was in college, and her father was pretty much the breadwinner of the family. But then when her father got stricken with cancer, you know, all of his medical bills and everything skyrocketed, and it put the family in debt. And that's where Veronica came in, and she said that I wanted to be successful in my own right to help provide for my family, but I jumped onto this because my father was sick and he could no longer provide for the family, and the bills were bigger than what we were bringing in. So I jumped at the opportunity, not knowing what I was getting myself into. And she literally cries and like lets it be known, like, look, I'm so sorry I've done this to you. I'm so sorry I put you in this situation. You know, and it seems to me that she got us both locked up, just where she wants us. And pretty much, she pretty much starts to kind of come up with the idea of killing Veronica, where she's saying that, look, I pretty much know her like clockwork. She's pretty much asleep by now. If you want to go see your friend, you can go see him. I'll cover for you, but you got to be back before 4 a.m. because that's when she starts waking up and starts coming up the stairs. It's like clockwork every morning. She comes up around 4 a.m. So he's kind of thinking about it, but then again, he's also, he's also kind of listening to her finally, where she's pretty much saying that, look, don't you have a will? Because all I need is a little bit of money from my dad and I'm good. You know, that's all. She's saying that, look, she's going to be asleep soon. And he's like, I'm not going to kill my mother. And pretty much he was like, and pretty much, you know, Melissa's like, okay. You know, like, as much shit she putting you through, you ought to kill her ass. Like, for real. But, eventually she just tells him good night and she turns over and goes to bed. But definitely Jeffrey's wheels are turning, because Jeffrey looks mad as hell, because she pretty much told him that, look, you're not going to see that cop again. That shit's over. You know, this is your family now, and this is where you'll stay. And Justin is out of the picture. But yeah, we're starting to see, that Jeffrey's starting to get pissed off, and we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Next, we also see that Oscar and Jim have a conversation. He pretty much located where Wyatt lives. We come to find out that Wyatt spent $3 million on a property that's only worth $700,000. So we see that Wyatt is completely reckless with money, because here it is, she spent $3 million on a property that wasn't even worth $1 million. Talk about dumb as hell. Like, Wyatt's a fucking idiot. Like, for real talk. And, you know, Jim is like, that damn Wyatt. And then the next thing you know, we actually see that after he gets off the phone with Oscar, because Oscar gives him that leak, but he says that his money's in an offshore account, but I have to set something up for him to invest in, and due to the fact that he'll probably do it, we'll get access to all the money, and then I'll be able to get in control over it. But he said that, right now it's an offshore account, so I got to work something out to get the money back. But I know exactly where he's at. And Jim is familiar with the area, because he said that's a property that we used to own. So that's interesting. So after he gets off the phone with Oscar, he actually calls George, and he pretty much says, I'll help you set up Candace, but I want all of the pictures. And he's adamant, like, I want everything. But little do you know, Catherine got one. So Catherine got one up on your ass, Jim. You just don't know it yet. Because she also sent a copy of it to Hannah. So George ain't got all them copies. Catherine kept one. So he's saying that, you got to get rid of all these copies. If I help you to take that bitch down, you'll let me have my way with her. And he said that, sure, why not? So now we see that George is playing dirty. You know, anything to take down Candace, he's all in for it, because he wants a conviction. Next, we actually see Catherine comes in, and we see that Hannah's outside waiting to talk to her, but she's in Amanda's car. So immediately Jim flips out. What the hell does she think she's doing driving Amanda's car? That's not her car, that's Amanda's car. And then she's like, Jim, I gave it to her. The deed's in her name. It's now her car. I gave it to her. And she's like, what the hell is going on with you two? I'm like, Jim, you have to wait. You have to go all the way to season 1 to understand that relationship, because it happened right over your head. Like, you don't even know the fact that Hannah was the one who nursed Catherine through cancer. So, their bond is deep. But we actually see that Hannah and Catherine meet up. The reason why Hannah's there is that she asks Catherine, can she hook her up with a criminal attorney, you know, for both Candace and Benny, because they both are in some shit, and she needs her help. And she's saying that, look, she says, I'll give you this whole entire house she said, I'll give you this whole house if I don't have to deal with your daughter. She's like, look, I understand you don't like my daughter, but that's still my child, and I still have to protect her. So, pretty much, Catherine pretty much agrees, but she says that, look, I'll talk to Marty, but to be honest with you, the only one that can really represent you would be Veronica. And she's like, oh, hell no. She's like, yeah, as much as I hate the bitch, as much as I hate that bitch, she's the best. And she's like, but I thought she was your good old girlfriend. She's like, please. I'm like, yeah, Hannah, if only you know what really went down between them, you wouldn't call Veronica your no fucking friend. Just saying. But, she agrees to help her, and that they're going to talk tomorrow, you know, and kind of iron out the details. But she says she'll call Marty because she don't want Veronica, and Catherine definitely don't want to deal with Veronica. But then again, Veronica's the best, so we're going to see how that plays out. Next, we see that Erica and David are getting it in up in the bed. I mean, David is giving her the D. Like, literally giving her the D. And look, and the next thing we know, she's pretty much getting the D, and he's tearing her up. We see that damn War is in the damn room, and he's watching them have sex. So we now know that Erica is working with War. Something that we have been hypothesizing and pretty much been saying the entire time throughout the season that, yeah, Erica's dirty, and we thinking that she's working with War to take down Candace. And as we see, Candace was just there, and Candace is there, but she doesn't know about Candace's, but she doesn't know about, Candace, new conquest with Charles, the next president. But the fact that War is up in the Artesian with his ghetto, crazy, psychotic, brutal-looking ass, literally standing there looking mad as hell, while David is literally doing her, I'm like, wow. So the whole time, them two been working together. So we're going to see what's going to happen next week, because next week, I said, it's the mid-season finale. But when it ended like that, I was like, this trifling black bitch. The whole damn time she was working to take down Candace. Even with the whole deeds in the house and all of that. War was hip to all of this because he's been working with Erica the whole damn time. So yeah, shit's about to get hot. So but that's my review for this episode. Subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I release a new video. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and I will be back, y'all, for the mid-season finale of the Haves and the Have-Nots next week. So until then, everybody, take care.